What's going on, everybody? I'm Bakarii. Thank you so much, Radio K, for having me. You're listening to The Vanguard.
Thank you so much for coming in, Bakarii. You had such an amazing set. How'd it feel?
Felt great. It's like home over here, so I
Mhm.
really appreciate being back.
Yeah, we've been having almost every member come through Radio K. We just had Mac OC come in for local vibes,
Mm-hmm.
Obi. It's
Mm-hmm.
been really fun.
For sure. It
Yeah.
was dope when we were all on here together, too, not too long ago, so
Mm-hmm.
good
And
times.
good times. And we heard Renaissance, Cooler by the Water, Last Sunset, and the remix to Hazy Lane's Interlude, which were all released on your newest project, the Forecast EP, back in July. What were some artists that inspired the very tropical and smooth soundscapes this EP contains?
Yeah, for sure. The most of the inspiration I got for this EP actually was experience based versus artist based. But I was during this time that I was making it, I was listening to Afrobeat artist Manny Wells, listening to a lot of different Afrobeat artists that veer towards R&B Afro too, and just listening to that while on vacation. I went to Tulum, to make an album and record some stuff there. So, really using my experiences and like where I'm at in life, either physically or mentally, to use those inspirations to make the EP. Yeah.
Mhm. Does Tulum have any significance to you or your background?
No, it was me and Ozone's brand director Tay. It was both of our birthdays fall on the 15th and the 16th,
Mm-hmm.
so we had gone to Tulum and just brought a whole bunch of people out, shot some videos, recorded some music, went ATVing, got on a yacht. Like all the stuff that
Yeah.
like I've been wanting to do with a big group of people for so long, ever since I was like really young, and so I just wanted to do that, and that was a huge inspiration for just this EP too, honestly. And I actually released the EP before Forecast, called Villa, and that's what we recorded over there. We recorded 3 songs, produced an album called Villa, so it's
Nice.
dope, man.
Yeah, it was really good. And I was
Mhm.
also listening to that the other day too, and it sounded really, really
Thank
good.
you, much love.
Yeah. And you've been surrounded by vast amounts of cultures throughout your youth, having grown up in countries such as France and Spain. So tell us more about your upbringing and what were some regional sounds and styles of music that influenced you to create music of your own.
For sure. Yeah, growing up, it was always an eclectic environment. Um, I was actually born here, and then 2 months later, started living in Spain because my dad started playing professional basketball overseas. So his career took us all over the globe. My mom is French Algerian too. So, just an accumulation of so many different cultures, different types of people. From Spain, we went to Switzerland, Germany, to France, and France is where I spent most of my time. And in France, it's a very large diaspora of African people there too. And so I remember hearing all types of music from whoever I was around. Like you don't have that much control as a kid; you just go wherever your parents take you. But I'm blessed to have parents that have some very deeply rooted culture, and yeah, it was really cool to be taken all across the world, at least all of Europe, and hear the different music coming from the adults in my life. And I think all of those really morphed what my sound is today. It's just the difference. I heard Afro beats, I heard traditional high life music, I heard funk, I heard R&B, all of that stuff that you might not assume you would hear in Europe, but I definitely did, and it all accumulated to make my sound.
Yeah. Did you ever have the opportunity to work with these artists in France?
No, actually, so I came here to the U.S. for high school, and that's I really started getting into my music stuff after. And so whenever I go back to France, it's usually just to visit, just to vacation. But now that it's a little bit more on my radar, I've been tapping in with so many different producers from Amsterdam and London, and make even some of the songs on the EP are from European producers. So yeah, it's like I'm definitely trying to make that more of a goal now, is to just work with artists, producers, anybody from Europe, because my music actually does really well there too. Like people receive it pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, it's really nice that you've been able to appeal to those international, communities
For
too.
sure. For sure.
And just more touching on that music journey you had. This whole thing began in 2016 at
Mm-hmm.
Hamlin University.
Mm-hmm.
And do you feel that beginning your music career within a university setting impacts your art in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, I would say 100% it affected it because the people that I met in that space are the people that I'm still making music with today. And if not directly, indirectly. So if I hadn't started the music in that college university setting, in a setting where it's so conducive to meeting so many other people, so many other creatives or what have you, yeah, it's perfect for cultivating the artist within you. Seeing so many different people create, it kind of motivates you to do the same thing. If you're an artist. So, yeah, it was just a factory for creativity for me. Honestly, I remember that was the time of my artistry where it was the most free when I was first starting and when I was just making music just to make music. And once you add an agenda to it, once you add your goals, your insights, you're tracking all of that stuff, it gets a little less free, but still just as important. And so yeah, I would say that university setting is cherished for sure.
Yeah. And are any current members of Ozone Creations from Hamlin University too?
No, no. Chinwei, he used to go to Hamlin, but
Mm.
he didn't graduate from there. I think he went somewhere else. Um, yeah, that's it from Hamlin. The Mac OC though, he just graduated from the U.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he just graduated last year. So
Mm-hmm.
shout out to him.
And yeah, we've mentioned Ozone throughout the interview. What is Ozone Creations and how did you start from creating music in Hamlin to
Yeah.
being signed to this record label?
For sure. So, yeah, and more than a record label, it's like we would call it a media collective.
Mm-hmm.
This is a collective of 6 individual brands, 6 individual artists that come together to make great music, create great content, all of that stuff, and go on stage and throw really great shows. The chemistry that we all have together is something that's really undeniable. And it was forged, right? It didn't just happen naturally, but the trials and tribulations we all went through as artists, all trying to do the same thing, it bonded us. It made us closer because, we all have the same goals. We all have we all want to be, self-established artists. And so once we all recognize that that's our goal, we decided why not share the resources, share those, since we share the same goal, we can share those resources instead of competing over them. And that's the ideology that we've been trying to facilitate since the origination of Ozone Creation, is that collaboration over competition. And with not only just Ozone artists, but the entire community as well. We want to work with everybody, and we want to help everybody as much as we can. So, because in that way, we're helping ourselves. There's nothing gained, we believe, from, turning people away, not working with people strategically. You know what I mean? So, yeah, as long as everybody fits our, brand, our mission, then yeah, we're working with you, and we're excited to do that. And so that's pretty much what Ozone Creations is. And we're really firmly connected to our roots, being first generation descendants of Africa. So we're trying to really push the fact that all popular music right now, whether it's rock, whether it's country, whether it's hip hop, rap, whatever, all of that comes from black music. And that's something that we, as 6 individuals, try to showcase, right? And so you have Summer, who might come on stage with a little Motown. You have me, that's going to come on with some soul and some R&B. Obi's going to come on with some straight Afro beat, you know what I mean? So that versatility really makes us strong, and I think it's really what's going to take us to the top.
Yeah, I think so too. And it is a really, really good way to bring the community together.
Right.
Advocating for that collaboration between artists.
For sure.
But how do you feel your music promotes this Afrocentric cultural authenticity that Ozone Creations looks for in artists?
That's a great question. Like I said, how all music, popular music, is intrinsically, it comes from black music somehow, rooted. I'm showcasing that, and Ozone tries to do this too. Through my diverse catalog, I'll have Afro beats, I'll have R&B, I have pop, I have all these different types of things in my catalog. And what I'm really trying to do with my music is showcase that blackness doesn't need to be one thing. It doesn't need to be you're the R&B guy, you're the this guy, you're that. You can be, it can be whatever. And because I as a black man am doing this art, and so there it becomes a facet of blackness. So yeah, I think it's something that we all do in Ozone, is just embrace the differences that we have in our music, especially, so that we never are putting one definition on what is Ozone Creations music, what is black music, what is your music. It can be whatever I want, because like I said when I was talking about freedom earlier, that's all artists want, especially musical artists. You just want to be free, and when you have expectations from an audience, that's when things can get messy. So we try to just stay in our own lane, really.
Yeah. And although the Midwest and Minneapolis in particular has brought out artists such as Prince and Lizzo, it's also known for its rock and folk scenes of music too. And many songs throughout your discography, just like you mentioned, contain elements of hip hop, R&B, and Afro beats.
Mm-hmm.
So at the start of your career, were you ever intimidated by how your music would be received by audiences?
Never. I was so. I'll tell you the reason why I started making music is because I heard the album Couch Potato by Bobby Raps and Spooky Black. If you've ever heard of it, if you haven't, I suggest you go listen to it. One of those songs on there. I had no interest in making any music, and I heard one of the songs that everybody has this experience when you hear a song that just makes you feel any type of way, and it's intense though. It's a really intense feeling. I felt that, and I was like, I want to be able to deliver emotion to people. I want to be able to play somebody my song and they will feel how the song makes them feel. That right there is so powerful. And so that's like one of my main goals in making music, is just to be very impactful through emotion. Could you repeat the question again? You said,
yeah, if you were ever intimidated by how your music would have been.
And so like when I was first starting, I was very free with it. I recorded something and I thought it was amazing, but that's just because I didn't have a lot of reference to, right? Like, because if I heard my stuff back then, now I'm like, okay, that's trash. But there is still an element of freedom in my voice that's like, dang, I missed that. And right now you can tell that there's some your professionalism that you're adding to it. But like the raw and the rawness of just starting is, for me, it was very freeing. I had no concerns about how it was going to be received because I was receiving it so well. And I think that's like the most important thing. Like you as an artist, if you receive your own stuff well, most likely a lot of other people will, because it's genuine to you,
Yeah. No, I think that's a really important message to give out and have. You know,
sure.
Being able to enjoy your own art and being able to embrace it.
It's a skill to do that, because all the perceptions coming in, like, when you drop something really good, people are going to be like, oh, you should drop something like that. You know what I mean? And I can't even think to the people that are at a higher level, the Drakes, all of those people, because those people, you can't even read the comments. You can't even pay attention to that type of talk, or else I would go crazy personally. So yeah, it's just like an art of training yourself to really listen to your heart, listen to your soul, and see what sits right with you. Yeah.
Well, thank you again for joining us in the studio. It was really, really fun. And what else are you preparing for audiences in the future?
Yeah, I can't wait to perform with you guys on the 28th at First Ave. Ozone's going to be headlining. I'm working on some other tracks, like the remix that you just heard. It's going to be dropping really soon. And just some singles. Like, now that I dropped these 2 EPs, I'm going to give you guys some real fire singles coming up here in the next couple months. And just be ready for that. Oh, also, forecast the EP is a audio journey. You listen to it and it takes you on a journey sonically. I'm in the process of creating a visual album too, with Tarek, and he's pretty much establishing a whole mood board, all of that stuff, and we're gonna be making like a 5-minute video to the whole project. It's going to be a visual journey, so it'll be cool.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it.
Please do.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming in.
For sure. Thank you, man. Thank you for having me. Appreciate y'all. And, talk to you later.